Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Danielle Gaudet, and today we're doing another conscious conversation. There was a couple of technical difficulties setting up this live, so I cannot see your comments in the chat box. If you are here with me, though, please feel free to write in the comments during or after the video so I can kind of go back and answer your questions if possible. Sorry about that. But thank you for joining if you are here. I'm excited for another conscious conversation along this topic of human management, which is what we have been talking about. And last week, they kind of all connect with each other. So last week, we talked about shifting mindset from outside to inward. And today we're talking about less thinking and more feeling. So once we come back to ourselves, right, from the outside world back to myself, then I need to check myself. You know, am I in my thinking place or in my feeling place? Actually, technically, once we come, when we're in our thinking place, we go out. We go out. So when we come back into our feeling place, naturally, we're going to be centered inside of the feeling again, moving down into our body. So why is this important and why is this necessary for the development of our consciousness? Because it's, again, we all want to see a more peaceful world, a more joyful world, a more loving world. And so we have to create that world within us first. This, again, might be like a new concept to you, but it's very real how much our inner world is affecting our outer world. The world we see around us is because human beings are suffering with so much pain inside, so many wounds, so much anger and hatred and grief and fear, and then we keep creating that in the outside world. So we want to tap into our inner peace, our inner love, just kind of an unconditional sense of love that's always there within us. Same with joy. There's an unconditional sense of joy and light that's always there within us. The more we tap into that, the more we connect there, the longer we're able to stay in those spaces or share that energy with others, or even just be comforting ourselves in that space. The more we do that, the more we're creating that world. I mean, we're creating love and peace and light in our lives, and then therefore we're influencing the world around us. So we have to find love and peace and joy through the feeling, right? We're never ever gonna find it through our thoughts. Thoughts just breed more thoughts. Thoughts breed judgments and criticisms, which lead to frustrations and anger and conflict. And this blame cycle that I talked about in the last live, in the Shifting Our Mindset live. So all of that is coming out from our thoughts. So when we drop down into the feeling place, now we're moving towards the world we want to see inside of us first. And that's why it's really true that each and every one of us is so important, that we can create the harmonious, love-filled, peaceful world that we want to see inside of us first. And when we do that, we are actually creating a better world. So it sounds, okay, easy then, feel more, think less, but not so much, right? If it was that easy, we just would. Why? Because people don't want to usually come down into our feelings, because before we get to all those beautiful feelings that I just listed, we bump into our uncomfortable feelings. We feel all of our emotion. We feel all of our anxiety, all of these things that feel painful, or we don't like them about ourselves, or we think it's bad to feel that, or that we can't handle feeling that. So then what do? We block the feeling. We block it. we numb it, we avoid it, and we pop right back up into our thoughts. We pop right back up into our judgments. And our culture, right, our society really supports us in numbing our feelings in so many ways, right? Whether that's entertainment, social media, substances, so many things that pull us out and into our thoughts and away from those feelings. So there's no end to that cycle, and there's no solution there if we keep following that loop. We need to make the effort to feel, to drop into my feeling, to stay with my feeling, be with my feeling, breathe with my feeling. Oh, yes. Thank you, Blueberry. Welcome. Thank you for joining today. And thank you for understanding what I'm saying and for resonating with it. It's very important. Even for me as a longtime energy practitioner, I realize it's something I have to constantly be aware of, is coming back to the feeling. It's staying in the feeling. It's so easy to get lost in thoughts and analyzing and judging. It seems so natural in the way the world is designed today. So we have to keep working on that and making sure we don't follow these numbing, so many tempting things in our world to numb ourselves and avoid ourselves. So we need to practice to do some meditation, have a walk with myself in nature, do some breathing, do some yoga or energy exercises, or whatever helps you come back to your feeling. And we have to keep making time for ourselves to do that and increasing our ability to do that. And remembering, and this is important, that feelings are just like clouds. They're like weather. Feelings are coming and going. So when we, lean into our feeling and we discover there's anger there, there's fear there, there's sadness there. Usually we want to kind of react to that and go back up into our thoughts, but we want to remember it's just like weather. It's coming and going. It will pass, just like clouds. It will pass if I stay in my feeling and breathe and trust myself that there's something deeper than this feeling. Again, if I compare it to the analogy of the sky, those emotions are like clouds, but this peace and this joy and this love that I'm talking about is like the sun. So if I trust the sun is there beyond these clouds, beyond this weather, I have to stay in the feeling to move towards the place where I really want to be. To move towards the world I want to live in, I have to live inside that world first. That's how important it is to stay in the feeling. And it is not an understatement that every single moment when we connect to those more bright and peaceful feelings, we are adding to a collective consciousness. So imagine if those of us, Earth citizens, Earth managers who care so much about this planet, really do the work, the consistent daily effort to come out of our thoughts and into our feeling, how much we can really contribute. I see some comments here. Okay, yes, dealing with feelings is often a challenge. Yeah, right. It can be very challenging, but if you have practiced with it, you'll see, if you really stay centered, then you'll see that they come and go in waves. So it's about staying in the present moment, right, ultimately, and we find the present moment in the feeling. Another thing that we find in the feeling is empathy and resonance. And this is why also I talk about this as such an important thing for healing our planet. Because if we stay in feeling, we can then resonate with other things, other living things. people and nature. We can feel the earth. We can empathize with the planet, and we can also empathize with other human beings, which I know a lot of people struggle with, and I hope to talk about the concept of empathy more in the future, because we don't want to be just bombarded by those feelings and then, because we're oversensitive, and then go back and numb them again and block our hearts again. We want to be able to stay in that feeling and keep trusting this sun inside, that the feelings are weather, they will come and go. And I need to be able to sense. I need to be able to sense people. I need to be able to sense the earth so that I can connect to it, so that I'm less likely to cause harm to it because I can feel it. So empathy breeds love. It breeds understanding and connection. Whereas if we're out of our feeling and we're in our thoughts and we're in our judgments, now we're just more and more disconnected. We're more and more separated from other people and the planet. And I keep saying this because I feel like also a lot of us here, we love the earth. We want to help the earth. The earth helps us. We find peace in nature, but we're like, oh, people, go away. Stop being the way you are. You bother me. Right? But actually, people, planet, it's the same. It's the same. We have to have a healing relationship with the earth herself and with other humans who are part of the earth. Actually, they're part of nature. They're not, us humans, we're not that much different from trees and animals. I know that sounds kind of really woo-woo. Of course, we are different in many ways because of the nature of our brain and our consciousness, but we're also of the earth. We'll go back. This body will go back to the earth, just like trees, just like animals. This is my point. Yes, thank you for understanding me, Blueberry. This is very important. Oh, great. Thank you so much. Yeah, so I'm sharing energy exercises in many places, and you can always utilize these to help you get into the feeling. I know that's kind of the second question is, how can I feel? There are so many ways. If you like tapping and, meridian stretching and vibration exercises, we are offering that, and I'm always offering that through Body and Brain. But for some people, it might be a walk or a jog or meditating in nature, going to the beach or to the forest. Oh, Sunoco, welcome. Yes, when we stay in empathy, right? Stay in empathy and don't move to judgment, which means we naturally want to start judging those feelings, but just stay in the feeling. It will naturally guide us to unconditional love, a place of understanding, a deeper place, right? So we're talking here about moving from thoughts to feelings, which means from your head to your heart, right? It's the practice of dropping my awareness to my heart and to my senses, right? To my overall senses and my intuitive senses and all the messages that my heart and my body are giving me. And when I do that, I move from judgment to compassion, right? Or from analyzing to empathizing. Can you feel? It's like naturally kind of calms us down. From criticizing to accepting and loving. These are all feelings that we find inside the sensation. Love, acceptance, empathy, compassion. And also, right, when we're in our thoughts, that puts us in the present. I mean, in the past or the future. And being in the feeling brings us to the present, right? Staying centered in the feeling grounds us in the present moment. And I think Blueberry said something back here that the collective consciousness has something comforting. The comfort is what we find actually in our own feeling when we tap in to the space of this this pure energy, this consciousness that doesn't have, it's just consciousness itself. It puts us in the present moment. It grounds us there. It doesn't have this busy thinking, analyzing, judging. So from now on, we just need to observe ourselves more closely. Where am I? Am I in my head or my heart? Am I in my thoughts or my feelings? Am I in my judgment or in my compassion? Am I analyzing, criticizing, blaming? Or am I accepting, loving, empathizing, understanding? And when we just make that little tiny shift from that moment, we have to trust and have confidence. I am creating a better world right now, even at this moment, this tiny little moment. I am adding to the healing vibration for planet Earth. I really am. It starts with inside of me. I am doing these talks, these conscious conversations on this topic because I really want each one of us to really recognize how truly important we are and how truly important every single moment is, because it's an opportunity to add a different energy, a healing energy to the planet. And it's not an easy time to be doing this. I know everywhere we look outside, we can be reacting with more thoughts and more judgments and more negativity, right? We see so many problems in the world, and we can't help but want to kind of engage in them negatively, which is what I have been talking about previously. But if you can muster up your strength to pause and sink into the feeling and just feel your heart, ride the rhythm of your breathing, try to return to your space of, okay, there could be sadness, there could be worry about the world. It's okay, be there, breathe with it. And remember, what is underneath that worry and that sadness? That is your love. And that is your pure heart for the planet, your pure wish to see a healthier humanity and planet Earth. So stay there and breathe and reconnect with that place. And remember, that's what the earth needs from me right now. It needs me to make a peaceful world inside. That's what the world needs from me right now, to make a peaceful world inside of me first. And that is the best thing I can do for this planet. And then I can take an action from there. I can see, Blueberry mentioned about bee saving actions. Beautiful, wonderful. Doing it from the place of peace inside, connected to my feeling, connected to my love and my light. Any action is the power of that action is multiplied exponentially when we stay in that feeling. So Sonoko, it has taken me years to get to the point that still appreciate examples you share. Yes, it can take a lot of work. It's undoing of an old mindset, of an old paradigm, or a very, very, very familiar cultural habit that we have to look outward. So we're coming back in and we're coming to the feeling, we're retraining ourselves. So thank you, Sonoko, for doing that practice and being patient with yourself. It's a process of retraining ourselves, and we're doing it for our own health and happiness and peace, and we're doing it also for Earth peace. Yes, Blueberry, just practice. You're beginning the journey, or maybe you're somewhere along the road and you have been practicing and you're just deepening that right now. And that is so precious. We have to recognize ourselves in positive ways and kind of encourage ourselves, like, I'm doing it. I'm on the road. I have, okay, ways to go. This is the journey. This is the beautiful journey, but I am participating. I'm participating in this movement of shifting consciousness. Good morning, Patricia. I see you are here from Belize. I've never been good at truly sitting in my feelings as they make me uncomfortable, but I have been working on it. And like you said, connected. Right. And that's all we can do. And I'm so happy to hear that kind of sharing, because that's what we're doing here at Earth Management TV. We're just helping you to kind of see yourself in new ways and begin the practice, and knowing that we're all in it together and we're all practicing it. Even these principles that I share each week, they're principles that I am trying to watch in my own life every single day for a long, many years. We can always like upgrade, and that's sort of the joy of it. Every day is a new day to practice this more deeply. Every moment is an opportunity to realize I'm in my thoughts again, I'm in my judgments again, I'm in my criticizing again of myself sometimes and others a lot. And let me come down into my feeling. Let me come down into the present moment, the place where I'm just breathing and existing, and where I can find the sun inside me again, the love inside me again. Thank you, Blueberry. Thank you so much for saying that. And I appreciate all of you so much for being here. I think that is, I can wrap up for today's topic. I appreciate you joining. A couple of things to announce before I finish. We do have the full moon meditation with Courtney on Saturday. And this I really want to emphasize. This is Earth Management TV's effort to kind of bring together all the people who are working on these things, who are caring about these things that we're talking about, and who are wanting to do something but not always sure what to do. We can come together and we can send energy to the earth and bring ourselves into this bright feeling together. When we do it together, that's the collective consciousness expansion. So I hope you can join these lives. There's nothing to it. You just click and join. You can share it with your friends or any like-minded communities that you have that may be interested in participating in this kind of joining, gathering together of hearts who want to bring ourselves into a bright place and create inner peace inside, and then send that energy to the planet together. So that's the live on Saturday. And then please make sure to join our newsletter. Soon I will be posting about a webinar I'm going to be holding at the beginning of March on the topic of forgiveness, which is also a really necessary topic in human management for helping us to get more comfortable with these feelings and be able to stay centered in the feeling more often. So thank you again, all of you, for joining me. I appreciate you very much, and see you next time. Okay, take care.